Ever come to the end of a meeting and have somebody say to you, I just need a little bit of time to think about it? How do you handle that objection? I'm gonna handle that in today's video. Hey everybody, Anton Anderson here, co-founder of Elite Resource Team. Now in a previous video, I talked about how to handle the objection. Can you email me something? That's a little bit different though when you get into a good meeting, like meeting number one, meeting number two. It could be with a CPA, an attorney, an enrolled agent, or it could be with an end user client, business owner, high net worth individual, W-2 employee, whoever you're working with. And you get to the point where they should make a decision, but instead of making a decision, they give you that like very kind of vague term, I just need a little time to think about it. I never end a meeting with that said. Here's why. Two things. First of all, we never have really understood what's going on in the head. So like, we don't know what they're actually thinking or feeling. And second of all, it gives them 100% power of that dynamic and of the next steps. And so here's how I like handling it. And it's really a combination of two strategies. The first I call the rip current strategy. I'll tell you why I call that in a second. And the second one is called just utilizing silence, okay? So here's how I handle it. And then I'm gonna explain what I'm doing. So let's role play here. You're the client, you say, I just need a little bit of time to think about it, Anton. I'm gonna say, you know, I'm happy to hear that. I actually still have a couple questions as well. Since we still have a few minutes together, why don't you tell me, like, what are your questions or concerns that you're still wrestling with? Okay, so I just used both strategies right there. First, the rip current. The rip current, for those of you that have swam in the ocean a lot, if you ever get stuck in a rip current, you probably know the worst thing you can do is tackle it head on. Like, you do not swim directly toward shore when there's a rip current pulling you away. What do? You actually turn at an angle. And you swim at an angle until you get out of the rip current, and then you can head exactly to shore. And so that's the first thing I did there. You saw when they said, I need a little bit of time to think about it. I actually took that objection. I didn't tackle it head on. I didn't swim directly towards shore. What I did is I reassured it. I said, I'm glad to hear that. I actually still have a few questions as well, right? So I turned at an angle, and then I started moving in that direction, which is, well, we still have a few minutes together. What are the questions or concerns that you're still wrestling with, okay? So that's the rip current technique. I don't tackle it head on. I actually turn at an angle, swim at an angle until I'm out, and then I head towards shore, which is redirecting where I want it to go, which is to get them to open up, to tell me what actually they're wrestling with or what's the real concern, so we don't end the meeting in that vagueness. And then the second part is what you heard at the very end when I was just staring. It's not because I forgot what to say. It's because we're utilizing silence. Silence, I think, is one of the most underutilized objection handling techniques, or actually one of the probably the best communication strategies is just utilizing silence. People are actually very uncomfortable in silence. And so, you know, many of us are good. We've got the gift of gab. Like, we can keep talking, we can talk through silence, but we don't want to. What we actually want to do is intentionally make it slightly uncomfortable. And by doing that, we are actually slowing down the conversation and letting the silence sit there until they say something. And sometimes that could be 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 15 seconds. Like, it can get very uncomfortable, and you wanna just sit because you ask them a question. Well, we still have a few minutes. What are the other questions or concerns that you're wrestling with? And then just sit and let them open up, actually kind of force them to open up a little bit. So that's it for today's video. Again, Anton Anderson here with Elite Resource Team. If you found this helpful, please give it a thumbs up. Also, if you've used either of these strategies, maybe you call them something else, maybe you call it that, but if you've used them or you use them after watching this video, please comment in the comment section below. I love reading what people are thinking of these videos or experiencing. If you have any requests on things you want us to tackle in the future on videos, be happy to do that. Also, we release tons of free videos like this, so there is a subscription button likely right down there or right up there where you can hit to be notified every time we release free videos like this. That's it for today. Hope you enjoyed it.